අනේ මගේ ලැප් එකත් එක්ක ඒක උනාට කියලා කියන මල්ල මම ලැප් එකක් තිබ්බව තමයි කිව්වේ.
මම එවන්නේ ප්‍රයිවට්
නෑ මම ලෙක්චර් බෝඩ් එකේ කොලපත්. Good morning to everyone. I think.
Good morning.
Good morning. People are joining with us. Okay, we will start with 2018 June paper. We can discuss how we are going to answer past paper examination and how we are going to get a practice about how to answer in case examination. Okay, prior to that, resubmission email, I think only one student has got resubmission email, except that others have not got any resubmission. That means you have got through the examination, not examination, assignment. Most probably by next week, they will release the pre-scene. Then we have to analyze the pre-scene within first 2 weeks, and next 2 weeks we have to do some mock examinations. That means mock papers we have developed based on the pre-scene. We have developed unseen prediction. Then based on that prediction, we have to prepare our answers and we have to prepare our case study book. Okay, prior to start the 2018 paper discussion, I have only received Malaka's suggested answer. Only Malaka Surasen, I think. He has shared with me the answer. Others haven't shared with me. I have gone through his answer, and there were some lapses in those answers, but quite good about the writing skill. I will give a separate feedback on him. I have gone through his answer. Today we'll discuss. Today he can understand where it went wrong. Okay, in a complete answer, what we need to do. Okay, prior to discuss unseen material, the requirement, you need to get an understanding about the pre-scene, and you have to highlight what are the important points. I have shared the presentation with you all, what I have done in the classroom. Then you can identify what are the areas we need to highlight and what are the information we need to collect. Based on those information, then we can decide up to which extent you can get the information from pre-scene. Okay. Shall we start with 2018 pre-scene analysis first? We'll start with 2017 pre-scene analysis. I think you have gone through the pre-scene because I have shared this pre-scene 2 weeks ago. Then you should have gone through the pre-scene and you need to look at it. Okay. Give me a second. The industry overview is given, but I need to highlight. First, while reviewing this information, first you have to understand about the industry and the market environment. Therefore, it is better to do a SWOT analysis and PEST analysis, that external environment analysis, in order to identify potential opportunities, threats. Okay, that will help in some extent in this particular case study. Okay, shall we start with the industry overview? If you go through the industry overview, you can identify that global retail sales. Now we are going to discuss the integrated case study 2018. The pre-scene, they have given the current trends of global retail chain. That means it is continuously growing. 2013 to 2017, it shows that this particular industry is growing. The emergence of supermarkets has led to decline in the number of small-scale retailers around the world. That means, if you look at the current environment, now small retailers have been slightly, if you compare with 5-6 years back, there were more small retailers. At the moment, they have been fallen. That means fallen means, now if you look at about Food City, most of the people have now direct access to Food City, and even a rural area, people are now used to go to Food City. Therefore, now it becomes supermarket, become a normal day-to-day lifestyle pattern of each and every individual. If you want to buy something, you will directly go to the supermarket instead of going to a small retail shop. Okay, those kind of things are there. Therefore, in this inception, you can get an idea. There's an opportunity in the market. This is a growing industry. You can write down elsewhere, because we have to, while reading this, you have to important points you need to highlight. Okay. Global retail is expected to reach US $28.3 trillion by 2018, with compared to 2017, thus showing 6.9 growth. That means you are going discussing about a growing industry. You can highlight that. Here also it mentioned that I am not going to discuss in detail. I am going to highlight some important points. Okay. Then there are a fact called hypermarket. The hypermarket is a large store with an extended range of goods. Like if you go to kind of supermarket in look at about Apico Super Center, it's a kind of hypermarket. Therefore, here also it says about hypermarket is a store with all in one place. Not only normal day-to-day supermarket, all in one place. Therefore, it might contain some household items. Thereafter, in addition to foods and vegetables, those normal, other than the normal supermarket items, it might include some kids play area. It may include some restaurant, dining area. Likewise, it is a kind of holistic arrangement. A hypermarket is a large store with an extended range of goods along with large parking spaces. This type of store is usually situated beyond city limits to accommodate the size of the store. The concept of hypermarket is increasingly becoming popular around the world. Not in the world, in Sri Lanka also hypermarket is become popular. Now look at about today living lifestyle pattern. Then this become more popular because most of the supermarket visitors now family people. Okay, family visits to supermarket. Therefore, if they are visiting to hypermarket, they can get a wide range of their day-to-day needs. A supermarket could be identified as a self-serving establishment which offers a wide variety of food and household products. It has a larger section of goods compared to a grocery store and is usually large in size. This is a basic introduction about supermarket and hypermarket. Definitely, this gives some background information about the industry you are going to enter into. A convenience store should be identified as small retail shop. Like convenience stores, like we'll take Cargill's Food City. Look at about Cargill's Food City, you might see hyper stores. And you might see normal supermarket stores. And you will see some Cargill's Food City Express. Nearly petrol stations or fuel station. There's a small place, it's kind of a grocery, which cater Cargill Food City Express. Kind of those kind of three type of arrangement. They are convenience stores, supermarket, and hyper stores. Those are the three types or types of establishment, and their major product also being given in the next table. I'm not going to discuss all here. Retailing and economic condition in Sri Lanka. Now you have to look at about current market condition. Definitely they might have given a situation which has been established in Sri Lanka. This is similar to Cargill's Food City current situation. According to a recent ranking in Kearney Global Retail Development Index, Sri Lanka was placed 12th. It was increasing to see that countries like South Africa, Russia, and Philippines were placed below Sri Lanka. That means Sri Lanka has a huge demand of retailing market. There's a huge retailing market. Since we have the huge retailing market, that means we have growth potentials. Okay, now this is the conditions about Sri Lankan retailing industry. Customer buying behavior, look at customer buying behavior also impact on the establishment of the industry. Okay, GDP per capita in Sri Lanka has been continuously increasing in the recent past and reached to US $3,835 in 2016. That means increasing per capita income will increase the buying power or purchasing power of the community. If the purchasing power goes up, then you can easily increase your total revenue. දැන් අපි උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් අපේ earn කරන salary එකේ වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් අපේ day to day essentials වලට අපි groceries වලට එහෙම නැත්නම් supermarkets වල spend කරනවා. It's a significant amount. Then if your disposable income is increasing, the demand for the products in supermarkets will goes up. Okay, that is a good sign of this arrangement. The figure was greater than the India and Bangladesh in the region. A recent World Bank report revealed that an average Sri Lankan spent 47.58% of his income food and beverages. That means close to 50%. The wala balanna wala experience thiyenawa wage salary එකේ close to 50% you are spending on food and beverage. See whether it is true or false. That means this particular industry has a significant demand. Loku demand එකක් තියෙනවා මේ industry එකට. Therefore, you can see that huge demand prevailing in the market. That is an opportunity you can highlight. Okay. Consumer buying behavior බලන්න එතකොට economy එක ගත්තොත් customer ගේ disposable income එකේ 50% වගේ spend කරනවා normal retail purchases වල food and beverage වලට. That means you have a significant opportunity on that particular industry. Despite the fact that retail industry has been developing in Sri Lanka with the emergence of supermarkets and other retail establishments, the frequency of customer visits has declined over time. Retail consumers show a pattern of buying a large quantities at the time of visiting a supermarket and storing them, thus avoiding frequent visits. That means on the customer behavior, customer will purchase in bulk. They are regular. If the regular visits are there, you can increase your turnover. But on the other hand, customer not frequently visit. They visit and bulk purchase, then they store, and after the consumption, then they will come and generally they will come to a supermarket once they got their monthly remuneration or monthly salary days. Assume it is 20 to 25th or 27th. On that particular range, you can see the customer behavior. They will purchase their essential requirement, daily requirement at once. මාසයකට හරියන්න බඩු අරන් යනවා. They will purchase at a bulk. Then, how can you increase their number rate of visits? එතකොට මතකද ඔයාලට එනවනේ the messages. Other 20% off, other 10% off. This rush hours මෙච්චරක් දෙනවා කියලා එනවනේ the promotions. Why? Because they need to increase the number of visits. That's how they are treating. Therefore, this is another kind of marketing strategy they can adopt. Okay, the buying behavior also impact on the industry. Okay, it says that further it has been found that the customers who visit shopping malls are mainly the younger crowd and families with children. That is a potential market. Younger crowd and families with children, they will come to supermarkets. You might have that experience. Then their requirement should be catered. That supermarket එකේ cater කරන්න ඕනේ එයාට අවශ්‍ය කරන දේවල්. Therefore, sometimes if the families visit the supermarket, once they are going to purchase our daily essential, If they can put their kids to a kids play area, will be a added advantage. If you see, I have seen in Kottava KFC also, not a supermarket, there's a kids play area. Parents can put their kids to the kids play area and they can time leisurely, or they can have a chat leisurely in that particular place. Same applies here. You can see there's a potential. Your major market, there's a trend in the market. Most visits by the customers are younger generation and the families with children. Okay. It also been revealed that the proportion of consumer income allocated for essential goods and service has reduced 39 from 46% over the last few years. That also become a threat to your business. Highlight it is a threat in external environment. Why? Customer spending on foods and beverage and daily essential goods have declined from 46% to 39%. That means they might invest in durable goods. We'll see. Consumer spending on discretionary items such as housing, transportation, telecommunication, healthcare, and motor vehicles is on rise. Nowadays, it has been changed. It's the other way around. Okay, now at that time, this is how it has happened. Some research studies have predicted that Sri Lankan consumer spending on communication, housing, furnishing, and durables would further expand in next few years, similar to Malaysia and Thailand. Okay, there's a potential growth in durable goods. Then, can you remember hypermarkets like Apico Supercenter? In addition to their day-to-day daily essential, they have a separate furniture shop. There are some durable items like household items separately they have stored. Why that? That they have identified this customer buying pattern. Okay, that is the consumer buying behavior. Online sales and price wars. This was discussed in 2017. Okay, 2018 June. At that time also they are discussing about online sales and price wars. Now it become a reality. Now online sales become part of essential item in the business. It is important to have this online sales and price wars. Look at e-commerce is another emerging trend. Underline කරගන්න. දැන් අපි ඔය කියවගෙන යනකොට industry එකේ තියෙන trend එක. Online retailing. Okay, it become a threat if you have not adapted it. It become an opportunity if you identify that if it has been implemented already, you can capture more market share. Okay, e-commerce is another emerging trend and it's expected to grow at a very high pace of world economy in future, shown in figure 2. It shows that global sales volume resulting from e-commerce would grow 40% up to $4 trillion by 2020. And last year with the picture growth in the assignment also we have seen that e-commerce, online retailing, online trading has grown up. Industry 4.0, we have discussed about Industry 4.0. What has happened? The application of Industry 4.0 technology has increasing and it went up, and majority implementation done in Asia Pacific region. Can you remember the things we have discussed in assignment? Okay, many analysts have forecast that within another 5 years there will be a substantial drop in customers who physically visit supermarkets, mainly due to online buying. Throughout the pandemic period, can you remember? We have went through a pandemic. During that pandemic, how you have placed your orders? You have placed online orders. At the first few weeks, it was too difficult, but subsequently you have adapted. Subsequently, supermarkets also adapted that model. It was very easy and it was very convenient. Even now, they promoting online purchasing. Supermarkets also promoting online purchasing. These are developing. Those are the trends in the market. Okay, here I am not going to discuss in detail. modern thinking supermarket tends to keep consumer inside the premises as long as possible, keeping the consumer stimulated. That means if customers being in the premises assume 1 hour, that means you can sell more. If it is only 10 minutes, that means their purchases will be limited. If you keep customer more time in your supermarket, you can get more revenue. එහෙම කරන්න නම් සුපර්මාකට් එකේ පොඩි වඩු ටිකක් කියලා විතරක් මදි. සමහරට kids play area එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, ඔයාලට restaurant එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්, ඔයාලට නැත්නම් furniture shop එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්, electrical equipment sell කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then if the customer being there in a long time in your supermarket, you can sell more. It's one kind of strategy. There are various methods that online retailers use to accept payments. Listed below are some of these methods. Now, debit credit card payment. Now it become mandatory. Most of the people are not keeping money in hand. එකක් තමයි දැන් මේ pandemic එක නිසා they are not to හරහා virus spread වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore, central bank or all the people have, all the entities have encouraged to not to use cash, use your debit credit card to make the payment and online transfers. Cash on delivery, online payment, PayPal, mobile cash service, mCash, eCash, direct bank transfers. Those are the mode of payments. Okay. Growth in e-commerce platforms also being given. E-commerce platforms by 2021 it will go up to $4 trillion. දැන් බලන්න මෙතන කියලා දෙන ට්‍රෙන්ඩ් එක. ඇත්තටම මේ වෙද්දී මේක ඇත්ත කතාව නෙවෙයි 2018 කියන කතාව 2021 වෙද්දී ඒක ඇත්ත වෙලා තියෙනවා. Now it won't be 4 trillion, it might be more than that. Retailers try to counter price wars in industry using several methods. Price bundling is one of those techniques where bundle different goods offer the entire bundle at a single price. Why දැකලා තියෙනද product bundling කියන එක. The product bundling is one of marketing tool. You can combine 2 or 3 products together and offered at a discounted price. You can product තුන විකුණන දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් කිරිපිටි පැකට් එකක් ගත්තොත් අපි මේ X කියලා කිරිපිටි පැකට් එකක් ගත්තොත් දාට තේකොළ පැකට් එකක් උතම් වෙනවා. The same price. That is product bundling. You might say it's a discount. Sometimes if you are going to if you look at the supermarket, when you are going to purchase, they will sell, if you purchase 4 bar of soaps, then 1 bar of soap will be free. That is product bundling and selling. It's also being increasing. Now presence of Glen PLC, that is the target company they are giving information. Up to now, it has discussed about the industry environment. Now you can identify while analyzing industry environment what are the opportunities, threats, and current situation of the external environment. Now we will look at the company which is given in, which is the target company we need to attend. Glen PLC. We'll look at Glen PLC, leading retail chain in Sri Lanka, incorporated in 1956. Store of Glen. මේකට සමාන බොහෝ වෙලාවට සමානව තිබ්බේ Cargill's food city එක. Okay, we'll see. A private limited company that's operated as a wholesale business. Amashri Dias was appointed as the CEO of the company in 1990. The company established its first supermarket under the name of Mealtown Super. Samara Kiel Super වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay. Mealtown Super MTS in Ratmala in 1991. In the same year, the company was listed on Colombo Stock Exchange. Okay. Glen is the first organization in Sri Lanka to introduce the state-of-art layout of the supermarket industry. Okay. The design and placing of goods on shelves are done way to stimulate shopping atmosphere. The stores are embedded with appealing interior signs and make self-service. That means they have explained about what are the interior now. Glen currently operates 354 outlets across the country, accounting 45% of the market. Please remember that. That is a kind of strength. They have 354 outlets which cater 45% of the market. That means majority of the market, they might be the market leader at the moment. It is a strength to the company. Then idea what තියෙන strength එකක් pre-seed එකෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. By considering the global trend, Glen has expanded its operation into extended operating hours, including 24 hours of operation in a substantial number of outlets across the country. ඒ කියන්නේ පැය 24ම මේක ඔපරේට් වෙනවා. The outlets that operate 24 hours can be seen in fuel stations and airports. These outlets are operate under the name of Mealtown Handy. හරියට නිකන් අර Cargill Food City Express වගේ. They are operating in those kind of fuel stations and airports. Mealtown Center is a shopping mall located in 3 major cities in Sri Lanka, Colombo, Kandy, Galle, where the customers can get multiple tasks done in one place. That is like a hypermarket. Each Mealtown Center has 93,000 square feet space comprising Mealtown's MTS and a range of other services including food court, cinema, banks, so that customers have an extensive space to do their shopping as well as dine, watch movies and do their banking. ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඔක්කොම all in one solution එකක් hyper market එකක් තියෙනවා. They have 3 number of hypermarkets. Okay. Here they have given the structure, number of outlets and locations. Mealtown Super, Mealtown Center and Mealtown Handy. Mealtown Super කියලා කියන්නේ supermarket එක, Mealtown Center කියලා කියන්නේ අපි කිව්වොත් hypermarket එක, Mealtown Handy කියලා කියන්නේ convenience supermarket එක. Past research has shown that retail outlets are mainly visited by families. Therefore, the marketing manager suggested that the goal should be cater them and make the shopping experience enjoyable to each and every member of the family. Okay, that might be the target market. He also mentioned that that will be the target market. Okay, we'll see. Prabhat, the current CEO of the company, in a management discussion, proposed to expand the shopping experience of customers by providing a separate section within the premises where children and teenagers could play while their parents shop. On their proposal, he is confident that it would be a totally different experience for them and a motivation for customers to visit their premises often. Prabhat considers this is a separate project, unlike this is a separate project where they offer a range of children activities from the shooting booths to arcade games to explore opportunities in the changes in buying behavior. He wanted the senior managers to come out with the ideas about the proposal before taking a final decision about the investment. අන්න බලන්න ඔතන තමයි hint එක තියෙන්නේ. While reading, definitely this will be tested in the examination. Exam එකේදී අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේ area එකේ potential investment එක ගැන investment appraisal එක වල එන්න පුළුවන්. We'll see. While reading the pre-seed, there might be some hints you can identify which can be tested in the examination. Okay. Interface between IT and company operations. One the IT, Shamil Akbar, the IT and marketing director, is keen on investing in IT and integrating it with business operations. He stressed the need for setting an appropriate information system which will be key to the successful implementation of selling product online, as there's an increasing tendency on online buying. ඒ කියන්නේ දැනට මෙයාට online buying or online platform එකක් නෑ product sale කරන්න. That is a weakness. You have to identify their weakness. They don't have a online selling platform even though there's a demand. And also say their IT system and operating environment not being integrated. That means their current IT infrastructure is not sufficient. Okay. Network system, he has suggested network system need to be established, online payment system, integration of information system with courier services, establishing a proper user-friendly online interface. That means their current operating IT system is weak with compared to the competitors' some instances or current market. Akbar further said that initial work must be carried out fast but with caution, as the hurriedness could result in mistakes and incur huge cost. He has been empowered to engage in such work and make the necessary arrangement to ensure the process will be sufficiently speedy. දැන් බලන්න එතන කියලා තියෙනවා. Here it has mentioned that the current IT system is not sufficient. Currently, they don't have an online selling platform. It might be a weakness. Okay, if others have not been implemented it, that it might be an opportunity to get the competitive advantage. We have to highlight that. Okay, human resource management, it has mentioned Glen has a policy of giving priority to local citizens, those who live in same area, when employees are recruited for establishment located island-wide, subject to the basic and required qualification for each post. ඒ කියන්නේ එයාලා locate කරන ඕන shop එකක් අපි දුම් Kandy, they will recruit the people nearby Kandy. හරිද? That is a good idea, that is a good sign of HR practice. Then they can eliminate some logistic problem, transportation problem. They can eliminate, they can save more time. It is easy access to the, and they are providing as a corporate social responsibility, they are doing a good job, providing earning opportunities or employment opportunities for the people who living in the particular area. The total number of employees are given below. Colombo, Kalutara, Gampa, total number of employees and other employees all together, it close to 4,000. Yes, close to 4,000. In the recent past, one of the staff members in Gampa district met with an accident. The regional manager subsequently misled the accounts officer to not to pay one of the allowances the staff member was eligible for. In addition, Gampa district performance of the retail segment of Glen has been declining for some time while competitors have been performing well. That is an operational issue. There's something deal with the management. Sometimes employees may not be satisfied in that particular area. The regional manager might not be properly treating the employee. That is an operational issues you need to highlight. While reading that, you can highlight. That is a weakness because competitors, because the regional manager might have a pressure since their market share is declining, then he need to push to get more profitability, then ultimately he might sacrifice the quality of human resource management that might have been sacrificed. Okay, that also need to be considered. Composition of board members, look at the composition of board members. Chairman Roger Glen Jr., Finance Director Jason Hettiarach, Dino Glen is Human Resource Director. Non-executive directors also there. We look at some, these people have an experience or not. Chief Executive Officer Prabhat Vijayawardena. Prabhat has held many senior management positions in the fast-moving consumer goods sector. Over 15 years of experience. He joined Glen only 3 years ago, and since then he has been instrumental in working on the own brand product and Glen has been selling. That is very important. The CEO of the company has hands-on experience in particular industry. They are in retail market. The Chief Executive Officer Prabhat Vijayawardena has hands-on experience. That is a strength. You have to have a highlight. Hands-on experience of the CEO. That is the kind of strength you can highlight. One own branded product. I am not going to read them, but second paragraph is very important. Look at some own brand products are produced in-house at a low cost as they are less labor intensive when it comes to production. Tawa dakala ඇති කාගිල්ස් වල දින my choice කියලා. So what හිතන්න පුළුවන් මේ ඔක්කොම product එක එයාලා හදනවද කියලා. No. They might be outsourced but put their name or product branding on that particular product. ඒකයි එයාලා කරන්නේ. නැත්නම් හැමදේම එයාලා හදන්නේ නැහැ. However, Glen has entered an agreement with a specialized producer to make them for Glen in most cases. own brand products with the Milltown trademark are tagged later before displaying the product for sale. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක හදන producer ගේ identity එක නැහැ. ඒකේ identity ටික තියෙන්නේ Milltown super කියන එක. දැන් කාගේ food city එකේ තියෙනවා spices there, they have the ice cream, they have these different kind of jams, they have the sauces, different kind and hygienic items. But do you think all the items are produced by themselves? No, they have outsourced it. Prior to display, they will insert their logo and brand name. And also says the specialized product. The specialized producer with whom Glenn has entered the contract is Dawson PLC. Underline කරගන්නේ Dawson PLC. දැන් බලන්න ඔයා ගන්නේ වෙන එකකින් හදන්න කියලා Dawson PLC හදනවා. එයා හදලා දෙන්නේ ඔයා මොකද නම ගහලා ඉවර වෙලා දානවා. මේ අපි කො සුපර් මාකට් වල ඩිස්ප්ලේ කරනවා. ඔතන අයිඩියා තියෙනවා. You can implement backward integration. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ supply producer acquire කර supplier acquire කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Backward integration එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? ඒක highlight කරගන්න. Dawson PLC backward integration can be happen at the unseen. Okay. At the moment, Glenn is focused on selling water bottle, spices, jams, sweets under its own brand. Abhi balamu me tika analyze karla. Last 3 quarters being given. If you analyze these 3 quarters, what can you see? I will take water. Quantity, look at the quantity. 3rd quarter 2017, 4th quarter 2017, and 1st quarter 2018. Quantity declining. Quantity decline. Margin, profit margins. But profit margins and profit margin also decline. Quantity and margin. Quantity තඩු වෙනවා margin තඩු වෙනවා. ඊළඟට බලමු jams. Quantity වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. Slightly it has gone up. But margin has slightly fallen. Quantity up. Margins have fallen 24, 26 and 20. Margin. Because there is no reasonable pattern. 141 to 151 it has gone up. If you look at if quantity fall, the quantity fall when price goes up. You can see it. If you look at Jan, 3rd quarter of 2017, quantity 141,000, margin 24%. Quarter 4, 139,000, quantity drop, margin has gone up. ඒ කියන්නේ margin එක වැඩි වෙන්න නම් price එක වැඩි කරන්න ඇති. If you look at 3rd quarter, 1st quarter of 2018, quantity went up, margin has fallen. And impact that, then you have to look at what is the optimal pricing arrangement you have to check. Then spices. Quantity up. Margin also went up. $39.30 වෙලා තියෙනවා spices වල quantity අඩු වෙනකොට margin එක අඩු වෙනවා. Quantity වැඩි වෙනකොට margin එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Quantity up, margin up. Final one, other. Quantity down. Quantity down. Margin also down. Decline. Margin. Okay. This is the summary. Now you, by analyzing the summary, you can decide what will be the suitable arrangement. Look at the spices. Quantity will go up and margin also will go up. There will be significant demand there in the spices. This will be one of most profitable segment. And you can get more margin here. But other than that, you have to look at the impact on price for the changes in quantity. It might be price sensitive. We'll look at what kind of things will happen. Those are the own brand product analysis. You have seen some deficiencies in water and other product items. Then you have to see how you are going to restructure the own branded product. Competition become a threat. Adam PLC's closest competitor of Glenn who operates Food World. දැන් ඔයා බලන්න Adam PLC තමයි main competitor වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එයාගේ බලන්න කොහොමද එයා competitor වෙන්නේ? Food World retail. There is a tendency among Sri Lankan middle class and lower class consumers to search for the lowest price item in the market. Food World has exploited this effectively and has done extensive publicity on its brand. The recent trend in Sri Lanka to buy the lowest price product is backed up by the fact that more than 50% of Sri Lankan households earn less than 50% per month. ඔන්න දැන් මෙතන තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. What is the problem? Now there's a competitor, Adams PLC. They are catering to middle and lower class earners or families. Okay, that's why they are gaining the market there. Market එක යාලා gain කරගන්නවා. දැන් බලන්න එතකොට යාලා දැන් growing threat එකක් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Because 50% of the Sri Lankan population earn below 50,000 or low, less than 50,000. Therefore, always they are price sensitive. There may be other products might have a significant impact on it. You can't charge a premium price when the customers are more price sensitive. Okay, competitive analysis being provided. Look at the competitive analysis. While analyzing competitive analysis, retail segment of Glen, profit after tax 2.31 billion out of 73.63 billion revenue. Margin negative 3.1%. If you look at about Food World, their margin is lower than retail segment of Glen. That means you have a significant margin in your product you are selling, Glen PLC retail chain. This might affect to the market share. But market share, relative market share 45% by Glen, 29% by Food World. But market share change from last year. Glen PLC has lost their market share compared to the last year by 0.4%. Food World has gained 1.1%. If this continues, Glen PLC might lose their market share. And the threat එකක් තියෙනවා. Declining market share due to the higher competition. That is a threat to your company. Now Malaka is asking, Malaka has raised a question. Sir, can we put these 4 products into BCG matrix? Yes, you can. You can put in them into BCG matrix or even it's okay. Okay. Okay, now while analyzing this, you can see number of outlets. Glen PLC had 354, football only 198. Still, retails Glen has the highest number of outlets. If you look at the profit per store, ekakata profit එක කීයද කියලා බැලුවොත්, in that instance, football might be more profitable. We'll see. Profit per store. බලන්න profit per store කීයක් කීයද කියලා 2.31 billion. This is for 54 outlets. Approximately it will be 6.5 million. Per shop එනවා 6.5 million net profit එකක් එනවා. Football එක කීයද කියලා බලමු. 1.1 billion. They are earning 5.5 million. Still, Glen per profit per store is higher than football. But if the trend continues, they will lose the market share because football is catering to middle and lower class. ඔයාගේ දැන් ඔෆ්සෙට් එකක් තියෙනවානේ. In order to cater the middle and lower class, you have convenience store, hypermarket and supermarket. You can allocate your convenience store, can be used as a promotional strategy. You will provide the goods at a cheaper price. Okay, at a discounted price. Then you can cater, you can attract, you can win the competition against the food world also. දැන් මෙතන සමහරට බොහෝ වෙලාවට යද්දී ජෝන් කීල් සුපර් එකයි ෆුඩ් සිටි එකයි දැන් දීලා තියෙන තත්ත්වයන මට පේන විදිහට මෙතන තියෙන ජෝන් කීල්ස් එක කීල් සුපර් එකයි ෆුඩ් වර්ල්ඩ් කියලා කියන්නේ ෆුඩ් සිටි කියන්නේ එතකොට ෆුඩ් වර්ල්ඩ් කියලා දාලා එතකොට සිමිලරිටීස් අයිඩෙන්ටිෆයි කරගන්න තේරුණාද research and development at Glen PLC MTS was the first to apply innovative layout its premises in order to give a better customer experience. This was a result of adequate allocation of funds for research to carry it out. Ek strength ekak. They are invest heavily on research and development, which is essential to identify customer taste. That is very important. That's a good sign. That's a strength of Glen PLC. However, there's no major R&D section operating at Glen at present. This unlike weakness, there's no separate R&D section for Glen. Employees dedicated for R&D are overlooked by IT and marketing director due to the fact that the developments of MPs are mainly IT focused. IT වලින් මොනවත් වැඩක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Mainly customer ගේ taste එක දන්නේ නැත්තම්. An overview of the general layout of MD is depicted in figure 3 below. Okay. Target arrangement in generally, you should allocate more space for the FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. If you allocate more space to fast-moving consumer goods, it will be more beneficial. Those kind of things you have to keep in mind. Again, a market survey carried out by Glen found that tendency of online buying is mostly skewed in the Colombo and Kandy areas. Therefore, Glen suggests to consider these areas for initial implementation of online sales. And a suggestion that means online retailing platform to be implemented. It will be a recommendation. It will be an option you have to recommend. Therefore, Glen suggests to consider these areas for initial implementation of online sales. One aspect that Glen is yet to look into the finalize the delivery mode of product to households. Usually, the cost of delivery is incurred at the customer's end, and Glen is looking at the possibility of integrating a few courier services to the online purchasing system and giving discretion to customer to pick a courier service company they prefer. ඒක ගොඩක් හොඳ ඔප්ෂන් එකක්. දැන් බලන්න ඔයාලා ඔන්ලයින් කෝඩ් එකක් දැම්මට පස්සේ they will deliver to your doorstep and they will charge a delivery fee. Company can own a separate fleet. They can hire a separate fleet. Okay, you deliver our product, you will get a delivery fee. Without any investment, you can provide that service. You can recover the sum from at the time of their making. You will recover. You will highlight the fee. The Uber when they are delivering, it will include price, VAT, and the delivery charges as well. Social media marketing. Total population, internet users now. Internet users are more than 50% of the population will use internet. Why? Due to the pandemic situation, more than 50% they are using. Even small school children also using the internet for their studies. Even you also using internet. Mobile subscription. Again, mobile subscription population 126%. Again, at the active social media users penetration 20%. Again, good products are selling. Most of the products now can be sell through social media. And a lot of times also there. On the other hand, some ethical problems and security problems also there. Social media is largely cost-effective method of marketing. That's an opportunity. Do your marketing strategy. You can implement social media marketing. On the other hand, you have a risk. What the risk is? Then me also like ban. Body hurry, bad image create. Okay. Rumor have given. Eka bad image create karena balapan. The alpha toxin. එන කතා කරද්දී එක සමාගමක නමක් කියනවා. පත්තරේ තිබ්බනම් ඒ දවස්වල කියන්න. ඔක ගැන වැඩිපුර මිනිස්සු දැනගන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි දැන් social media වලින් ඒක within a second without any cost it has been distributed. අන්න එතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා use of social media platform when it comes to implement in Sri Lanka. Okay, financial information දීලා තියෙන බලන්න. The primary segments of Glen PLC comprising retailing and running restaurant table 8 below provide segmental information. Pada segmental information එකේ තියෙනවා retail 2.3 billion profit after tax, restaurant 0.47 profit after tax. Remember, that is a strength. Company is earning profit. Currently, company is earning profit. Share prices for 54 weeks given. The current share price average last trade price was 49 rupees and 30 cents per share. Here and when a financial information not deal. We balance suppliers of this is the last para. Suppliers of Glen PLC. It was a unseen material. Vegetables and some of other produce are usually purchased from the suppliers who are close to each retail establishment. That means they will keep the freshness of the product they are purchasing. Okay. The suppliers are registered at first and then the quality inspection staff carried out necessary quality checks to assess whether products meet the quality requirement of Glen. Other products that come in packages, cans and boxes are sourced from the different manufacturers with different brand names to give customers better option to choose from. The shelf space is apportioned accordingly. Okay, final two para. Glen has entered MOU with most of multinational FMCG companies to operate in Sri Lanka. They have shown high interest in supplying goods to Glen as it has been the favorite for customers in Sri Lanka. That is a strength. Customers' choice is Glen. Okay, well-reputed brand name. Customer always prefer 45% market share there. Therefore, preferred brand name in retail chain. A few other products like beverages and sanitary items are often supplied by small and medium-sized local manufacturers. Soft drinks are predominantly provided by one of the middle-level players who operate in the soft drinks industry selling drinks under brand name Fizzy. The company is owned by and controlled by Jason Hettiarachchi's brother-in-law. How do you Jason Hettiarachchi? Go to the board of directors. Jason Hettiarachchi is one of director, I think. Jason Hettiarachchi, finance director. He's the finance director. Okay. Brother-in-law is on this particular company. The share of voice in media is very high for PC, but it has been a concern that the product ratings are not up to the exact quality specification as some of other top level players in the industry. That means quality issues they are in the purchase of Fizzy, that beverage product, that become a problem. Okay. Because it has an operational issue, they have a finance direct has a direct link with the supplier of this particular product. That's the end of pre-scene. Now, while reading this pre-scene, it has not directly give much information, but you can perform SWOT analysis, quest analysis, and get an idea, strength, weakness, and opportunities and trends. Now we will look at what it asks in the unseen. Unseen එකෙන් පත් දාන්න කියලා දැන් බලමු. With having the idea, you have 3 hours in writing time. Now we will look at unseen. Unseen is very important. I only get the answer from Malaka. Malaka has written it well, but some areas were missing. Okay. Glen PLC, senior managers of Glen PLC positively respond. Okay. Positively respond to the proposal made by the CEO regarding the new investment on shopping experience expansion. Mama කලින් කිව්වා නේද? They might test shopping experience that new investment. As a result, Glen decided to go ahead with this new investment and hold it X-Town. It will first be located in one of the main town centers. Okay. They are going to an investment. That is called X-Town. This is the new investment. Now it is suggested to accept. The initial investment will be 500 million. Okay, initial investment 500 million. Initial investment 500 million. The project is expected to run for 5 years. Project period 5 years. They haven't provided the forecast yet. And the investment is expected to be financed by a combination of debt and equity, the ratio of 60% and 40% respectively. Financing. Now you have to invest in 500 million. It's a equity and debt. Equity and debt. Equity 40%, debt 60. Equity 40%. Equity 500 will 40% this year. 60% from debt. 60% from debt. X-Town would be facilitated novel experience of retailing shopping with state-of-art technology where customers will be given the wide range of activities. Jason Hettiarachchi carried out the feasibility study of X-Town project using the net present value method. Okay, he has done NPV calculation. Net present value. Okay, that is a good measure to implement. However, at recent board meeting, the finance mentioned that it has calculated NPV of the project and it was rupees 5 million. NPV was 5 million positive. NPV 5 million. At a 17% discount rate was decided on a 5-year government treasury bond and an arbitrary risk premium. Cost of capital. Cost of capital. They have taken cost of capital of 17%. How much means 17% ability? 5-year bond rate. Bond yield. Yield. Plus 5-year bond yield plus you have had arbitrary risk premium. Okay, you have had risk premium arbitrary risk premium. This is how you have taken. In the main period, the cost of capital like decide කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙතන කියනවා. However, the CEO is somewhat skeptical about the discount rate used. In response to concerns regarding the discount rate, the finance team presented the following 2 suggestions as alternatives to be considered. Make about the අවුල් වගේ කියලා කියනවා. They are proposing 2 suggestions. What are they? Suggestion number 1. Suggestion 1. They asked you a 12% discount rate, which is the weighted average cost of capital of the company based on the existing capital structure. Okay. Based on existing capital structure, WACC of 12% based on current capital structure. It is anyway lower than the WACC එක ගත්තොත් NPV එක වැඩි වෙයිද අඩු වෙයිද? What was the answer? Malaka. There are 2 Malakas. Malaka Jayavardhan and Malaka Surasena. Malaka Jayavardhan, can you tell me if I take 12% instead of 17%, what will happen to my NPV?
It will increase.
Yes, NPV will go up because if you discount the lower rate, your NPV will go up. Okay, they are proposing WACC of 12% based on current capital structure. They make a pros and cons or a Okay, suggestion number 2. Suggestion number 2. What it says? A project-specific discount rate of 15% calculated by referring to Game Hut PLC, a proxy company whose core business is developing game zones. The equity beta of Game Hut PLC ungeared and then regeared for this calculation. Okay. Now project-specific discount rate. Is 15%. Now these are the 2 suggestions they have given. Finance division has given these 2 suggestions. At a recent meeting, Shamil Akbar, then one exam එකට දැන් මේ pre-seed එක read කරලා යනකොට unseed එක බලලා උත්තර ලියන්න යනකොට first what you need to do is what examiner has to do. See whether what you have to do. Required. ඒක බලලා ඉස්සරලා මට තුනක් කියන්න. Required you as the head of the team experts having experience in all business aspects including finance were requested to carry out a comprehensive analysis on the current situation of Glen PLC, current situation of Glen PLC, highlighting the following. The appropriateness of discount rate used by finance team for the new investment proposal. Appropriateness implication of the proposed takeover bid will read later. Relevance of offering own branded products. Governance and ethical issues. Direct implementation of the IT system. The strategies to be adapted by the NPS with the view to create value in a sustainable manner. You may use any relevant model to support your answer. Okay. Write a report to the board of directors of Glen PLC based on the finding of your analysis. Executive summary 4 marks, introduction 2 marks, analysis and discussion 52 marks, recommendation 18 marks, and finally conclusion 4 marks. Okay, now you have read what is required to do while analyzing this scenario. What can we say about this? Now, current cost of capital rate used by the company is not appropriate. Why? 5-year bond yield represent risk-free yield. Okay, risk-free return. But this investment might have a risk. But the 7 allocation of RP premium may not reflect financial and business risk associated with this investment. Therefore, the determined cost of capital rate may not be adequate or may not be sufficient to make a decision. That's number 1. Number 2, weighted average cost of capital 12% you can use. It will be more realistic than 17%. Because it reflects current capital structure of the company. If the company is current, now you are going to finance equity 40%, debt 60%. Ehena, මෙයාගේ weighted average cost of capital එක ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා equity 40%, debt 60%. එහෙම තිබ්බොත් තමයි 12% එක suitable වෙන්නේ. But if the existing capital structure assume equity 60%, debt 40%, then this 12% may not be suitable to adopt. On the other hand, the risk associated with the investment may be differ from the risk associated with the entity. Therefore, those factors should be considered when deciding use of weighted average cost of capital. Third, project specific discount rate will be more suitable. Why? It captures project specific financial and business risk. But on the other hand, it needs to be looked at the current operation structure of Game Hut PLC, the competitor or company who is developing play areas, but their business structure will be different from our business structure. Therefore, it needs to be considered prior to making a decision. The reason, in order to do a comparison, what they have done, they have found the equity beta and it has to be compared with company equity beta in order to assess the relative risk associated with the both entities and both investments. Those need to be discussed. Therefore, you have to discuss about the appropriate. While analyzing that, you will have determined which is the suitable out of 17%, 12%, and 15%. You have to make a recommendation on that. In the recommendation section, we have to mention that. Okay, we'll come that later. A recent meeting, Shamil Akbar presented to the board the current situation with respect to the implementation of new information technology system to support online selling. Now they are going to introduce new IT system. Prodigy Limited was suggested to be the network service provider as it has been providing Glen PLC IT services for substantial period of time. They know about your requirement, they know about your entire infrastructure facility. Progeny is well known to provide an uninterrupted service with a better bandwidth for corporate customers, despite in the fact that its wireless data transmission is not the fast, not that fast. Wireless connection is fast. However, Progeny is currently focusing on new technologies that involve use of fiber optics. Akbar suggests three payment options for customers to buy goods through the online platform. Payment by credit card or debit card through the company website itself, cash remitting service offered by the banks and mobile network services, physical cash payment at the delivery of goods. After the proper blueprint of the system is in place, Akbar expects the system to go online directly. Direct implementation, go online directly. They can be parallel directly give the risk very well our issues people. If you are not doing the parallel run, if you completely stop existing system and go to the new system, then there's a high risk. If you fail, then you will stuck in operation. However, the proposed payment options were opposed by some board members to the growth on the ground that there are other alternatives. Other alternatives take over bid. Option read the takeover bid. A few weeks ago, an offer was made by Seth Meyers PLC, another conglomerate, to the shareholders of Gen PLC to buy their shares by issuing 2 new shares of Seth Meyers for every 1 share of Glen PLC. They can share transfer. අපි Glen issue කරනවා එක share එකක් ඒ වෙනුවට Seth Meyers වලින් අපිට shares දෙකක් හම්බ වෙනවා. Seth Meyers currently controls operation of one of the world's prominent fast food chains, Burgerland, and a major hotel chain called Continents, located in Sri Lanka. Seth Meyers was performing well continuously in the stock market. However, in the recent past, it has been experiencing a slight bearish position. Selected financial information pertaining to the above companies is given in the table below. මෙතන සමහර මේ financial information වල පොඩි අවුල් තියෙනවා. අපි ඒක මම කියන්න කතා කරන්නේ. Seth Meyers current cost of equity is 13%. Cost of equity 13% කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා. The board of directors of Glen PLC critical about takeover bid and they are concerned about the lack of experience of Seth Meyers in the field of retail business. Okay. For the overall analysis, a team expert was appointed by Glen PLC for the direction of the CEO. Background එක තියෙනවා. Then what required as the expert, now you have to write down a report. Now a report එකක් ලියන්න යන්න. Report එක ලියනකොට you have to address the main areas what they asked to do. They have given 6 areas to highlight, 6 areas to address. Okay. Prior to the examination, while reading the briefing, most of the information you can collect in advance. You can write down the executive summary at the last. After completion of the analysis and after the decision being made, you can write down the executive summary. Okay. Therefore, now mark allocation given executive summary 4 marks. Introduction 2 marks. Analysis and discussion 52 marks. Recommendation 18 marks. Conclusion 4 marks. Okay. Now you are going to, you are a head of the team expert. Expert the team mein dala thiye. You can use your own format to write down the report. without any you can, as I explained, prior to the examination, you can write down the content and all, some of the contents. We will start with the content page. You need to spend more time on that. After the arrangement of the report content. Assume you are an internal person. Content page. Content. Section 1. Executive summary. Content 2. Introduction. Section 3. Analysis and discussion. Content 4. Recommendation. Content 5. Conclusion. 6. Annexures. If required, if one page might require, you can put the annexures name based on the annexures in place. This is the content page we have written down. Executive summary leave a page. Introduction you can write it down. Introduction here and පුළුවන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා. ඊට කලින් වල terms of reference ලා external කෙනෙක් කියනකට දීලා නැහැ. You can write down your own memo. Here with I may close the detailed analysis of the proposed expansion strategies of the company. The report is annexed here with. කියලා memo එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉච්චර ලියන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒකට අපි මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Content page you have written down, then keep a page for executive summary. Then write down the introduction. When you are going to write down the introduction, no need to wait till the last moment. Introduction what is okay. When you are going to write down the introduction, at the introduction section, you have to mention what are the areas you are going to discuss in this report. Then සමහර වෙලාවට abacus එකේ උත්තරේ බැලුවොත් ඒ සමහර abacus එකේ උත්තරේ සමහර තැන් තියෙන වැරදි තැන් තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට ඒ වගේ තැන් වාපුණ highlight කරගන්න ඕනේ. මම එතෙන්ට යන්නේ නැහැ. අපි අපේ answer එකක් ලියාගෙන යනවා. Therefore, in the introduction section, you have write down about some ideas about the industry. Okay, and you have to give some ideas about company background. Okay, you have to highlight those things. Therefore, introduction section, what can I do? These points you can include. First page, executive summary, page number 1. Executive summary. Executive summary. Page number 1. Page number 2 එකට යනවා. බලයන් පටන් ගන්නවා. එක්කෙනා ඉල්ල දුන්නේ. Introduction. මේ introduction එක what exam එකට යන්න කලින් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ 2 marks තියෙනවා එතන introduction එකට. ඒ 2 marks you can earn without any hassle. කලින් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. You can mention, give some brief about industry overview. Industry overview. Overview with current trends. Okay. Then company background information. Company background information. You have to, under company background information, you have to mention types of supermarket of market. Then you have to highlight market share. Market share. You can highlight number of outlets. Number of outlets. Those things you can highlight. You had mentioned what are the opportunities there in the market and or number of outlets, market share. Every company background they can be introduction again. Only limited to small paragraphs. Finally, you can mention it. The purpose of this report is to determine. You can mention what are the areas. Determine the viability of new investment. Viability of takeover bid. And determine the implementation of IT system. And other strategies to gain PLC. Determine other suitable strategies to gain PLC. Claim PLC. Introduction I will take an example. In the Glen PLC, you can highlight companies operating in retail industry. Currently, global retail chain showing average year-on-year growth of this percentage. In the Sri Lanka also placed 12th place in global retail industry, which shows that there will be significant growth in Sri Lankan global retail market. The purpose of this report is to determine, and the company currently have 3 types of market, this kind of hypermarket, supermarket, and convenience stores. And currently, company holds 45% of market share while establishing 398 outlets. The purpose of this report is to evaluate the viability of the investment in Milltown X. Okay, Milltown X, and the determination of the takeover and implementation of the IT system and online platform with the other suitable strategies applicable to get PLC. For make a highlight the introduction section. Okay, that's how you will highlight that introduction. Maybe the report in the examination, prior to the examination, we have written down these things and we have looked at. The next one, third section, discussion and analysis. Now we need to move to discussion and analysis. This is very important. After the second section, third section, discussion and analysis. Section 3, discussion and analysis. Discussion and analysis. Okay, now we are going to discuss what are the areas we need to discuss and analyze. Okay, under that, then බලන්න exam paper එකේ දීලා තියෙන areas කිහිපයක් address කරන්න. එකක් තමයි appropriateness of discount rate or discount factor. which has used in investment appraisal. දැන් මම උගන්න එක ඔප්ෂන් එකක් විදිහට එක ඩිස්කෂන් ටොපික් එකක් විදිහට. දැන් මගේ මෙතඩ් එකට වාගේ ෆෝමැට් එක රිපෝට් එක ඩෙවලොප් කරගෙන. හරිද? මම ෆස්ට් ඩිස්කෂන් පොයින්ට් එක 3.1 3.1 appropriateness of cost of capital rate. Make a discount factor. Appropriateness of discount factor. Then 3.1 discussion and analysis security first section එකට මම address කරන්න යනවා. දැන් මේ වගේ හරියට plan කරගත්තා නම් හරිද? මේ පිළිවෙලට plan කරගත්තා නම් මේක හරි ලේසි exam එකක්. මේක fail වෙන්න අමාරුයි. මොකද මේ වගේ අපි mock exam කලින් කරලා යන්නේ exam එකට යනකම්. දැන් ගියසර exam එකට ගිහපු අය දන්නවා. අපි ගියසර exam එකට කතා කරමු mock එක කොහොමද තිබ්බේ mock එක කොහොමද final exam paper එක කොහොමද කියන්නේ. ඒකයි ඒක සමහර අයට ඔබ තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. exam එක fail වෙලා ඊළඟ පාර මොකද තමයි තේරෙන්නේ. මොකද මමයි ගුරු සර්වයි ලොකු එෆර්ට් එකක් දෙනවා මේකේදී කවුරුත් fail නොවි exam එක ඉස්සරට අරගෙන යන්න. හරි. මේ වෙනකන් අපි ගිය exam එකේ එක ළමයි fail වුණා. අපි මේ සැරේ කොහොමද එක fail නොවි ඉස්සරට අරගෙන යනවා. ඒ කමිට්මන්ට් එක තියෙනවා. මොකද අවසානයේදී සමහර අය වැඩක් කරලා රැවටෙනවා. රැවටිලා ආපහු මේ පස්සේ එන්න වෙනවා. ඒක යාළුවට ෆේල් වුණාට පස්සේ තේරෙයි. පුළුවන් නම් ඔයාලගේ යාළුවන්ට කියන්න. සමහර යාළුවන්ට. හැබැයි මේක අපි මේ සැරේදී අපි ඩිසයිඩ් කරා මොකද අපේ පන්ති අපේ මැටීරියල්ස් අරගෙන සමහර අය පාස් වෙන අඩුම තරමේ කෝල් එකක් දීලාවත් කියන්නේ නැහැ. මේ අපි යූස් කරා. තමයි අපේ ඇසිස්ටන්ට්ස් එක ගන්නවා. මේ සැරේ මම ඇඩිෂනල් රිපෝට් දෙමිත් සර්වේ මායි බලපු රිපෝට් බලනකොට ඒ පන්තියට ආපු නැති අයගේ ඇඩිෂනල් රිපෝට් 8ක් 10ක් විතර ප්‍රමාණයක් බැලුවා. අඩුම තරමේ එක්සෑම් එක අසයින්මන්ට් එක සක්සස් වුණා කියලා අඩුම තරමේ ටෙක්ස්ට් මෙසේජ් එකක් දාලා ටැග් කරේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේවත් බැටරි උඩයක් නෙමෙයි. මොකද දන්න අපි පන්ති ඉක්කොලම කවුද? හිටපු නැති අය කවුද කියන්නේ. එක්සෑම් පාස් වුණාම තේරුම් ගන්න. අපේ මැටීරියල් සමහර අය ඉන්න අපේ මැටීරියල් එක වෙනකන්. අපේ මොක් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එක වෙනකන්. අපි මොක් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකේ ආන්සර් වෙනකන් ඉන්න. මොකද එක්සෑම් එකට කලින් සතියේ අපි දෙනවා මොක් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකයි ඒකේ ආන්සර් එකයි දෙකම. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ මොක් එක්සෑම් පේපර් එකේ මැජොරිටි එක්සෑම් එකේ ටෙස්ට් කරනවා. මේ වෙනකන් උදේමයි. හැබැයි කවුරු අපෙන් අහලා ඉගෙනගෙන තමයි අපේ මැටීරියල් යූස් කරලා අඳුන තරමේ ගෲප් එකේ ඉන්නවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි කිසිම රෙස්පොන්ඩ් එකක් දක්වන්නේ නැහැ. පාස් වුණා කියලා කරුත්තා. ඒ නිසා මම මේකේ ඇයි අපි එක එක්කෙනාට මහන්සි මට ඉන්නේ අපි මෙතන ඉන්න අපේ ටීම් එකට මේ සැරේ පර්සනලයිස් සර්විස් එකක් දෙන්න. ඩිමුසර් උදේට පර්සනලයිස් සර්විස් එකක් දෙන මේ සැරේ කොහොම හරි එක්සෑම් එක පාස් වෙනවා. මොකද අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ දින 100%ම මේ අපේ කවුන්ට් එක මේ සැරේ පාස් කරනවා. බැරි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ සැරේ එක්කෙනයි ෆේල් මේ සැරේ එක්කෙනෙක් හො දෙන්නයි මට මතක නැහැ හරියට. එක්කෙනෙක් හො දෙන්නයි. මොකද අපේ ගාව ෆේල් කට්ටිය ගොඩක් මේක මතක නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ සැරේ ඔක්කොම හරි මේ සැරේ ඔක්කොම ටික පාස් කරවනවා. කරන්න වැඩ කරන්න. මේක දැන් ඔයාගේ වැඩක් අර report assignment එක හදනවා වගේ පෙර කාටක් කියලා ලියව ගන්න. ඒව ලියුවා නෙමෙයි. Okay, appropriateness of cost of capital rate is math and discount factor you have decided. Now based on the given scenario, now you can easily understand that what are the things you need to address. First, I will explain about current cost of capital rate of 17%. Don't need to put highlight in the first paragraph. Current cost of capital rate 17%. Then you have explained why do you disagree with the current cost of capital rate of 17%. The reason you have used 5-year bond yield plus arbitrary risk premium The 5-year bond yield only reflects risk-free or risk-free return. Now, this is the risk-free return, and the risk premium you have determined, you don't know whether this reflects the business risk and business risk plus financial risk. May not repeat properly, may not reflect properly. While looking at the current cost of capital rate, it will not reflect properly. The reason you have decided the risk premium in arbitrary basis. Current cost of capital rate of 17%. While you are known a 5-year bond yield should be identified as risk-free return. Return from the risk-free investment. But this is the risky investment, you have to add a risk premium. Okay, then you will write it down. 5-year bond yield represents the risk-free return. Since this is a risky investment, you need to consider the risk associated with the investment. Currently, company determine the risk premium on an arbitrary basis. There's no justification. Arbitrary basis, you have added risk premium. Then, if you allocated a risk premium on an arbitrary basis, the risk premium may not reflect. Risk premium may not reflect the risk associated with the specific investment. It might not reflect business risk and financial risk. You have to mention. Therefore, the determined cost of capital rate of 17% may not suitable to evaluate the project. On the current cost of capital rate, you will mention current cost of capital may not be suitable. Same thing does not give a proper picture about the business and financial risk of an entity or this particular project. That is about current cost of capital. Then we will look at suggestion number 1. Then balance method section out of 52 marks, discussion and analysis, minimum you might get 8 marks. 8 marks section. Okay, now we will look at section 3.1 current cost of capital. I will put a star mark and write down suggestion 1. What is the suggestion 1? Suggestion 1 says that use of weighted average cost of capital. Suggestion 1 you are going to use weighted average cost of capital of 12%. Now, this is based on, I will wipe this one. Now I am going to write down the answer for suggestion number 1. Suggestion 1. WACC of 12%. Number one. Prior to that, you can say this will be more rational, more suitable if compared to the current cost of capital used by the company for the project appraisal. Okay. This will be more superior than current discount factor used to evaluate project. Why? At least this will consider the business risk associated and business and financial risk associated with the entity. You can do that. But there's a problem of this arrangement. If the company capital structure differs from 40% equity to 60% debt. Why 40% and 60%? What is this ratio? Because you are going to invest this particular investment 40% equity, 60% debt. If the company cost of capital of the company capital structure differ from 40% to 60% debt and equity, the weighted average cost of capital may not be relevant. Why? If the capital structure change, WACC may not reflect the WACC applicable to the new project. Therefore, the WACC may not reflect business and financial risk. On the other hand, you are going to invest in a new project which is new to you. Therefore, even though it is equal to your current capital structure is equal to project financing capital structure, but there is a problem. If you are new to this project, the risk associated with the project will be totally different from the current risk structure of the company. Therefore, this might have some issues when selecting weighted average cost of capital for the project appraisal or capital appraisal. You have to mention that if the risk profile of the investment is totally different from the current risk profile of the company, the WACC may not be suitable. You have to mention it. Anyway, you can mention that if the current capital structure of the company similar to the current financing arrangement, then it will be more reliable to use WACC to appraise the project. As an example, if current capital structure equal to the project financing arrangement. That means current capital structure 40% debt to 60% equity. 40% equity, 60% debt. Project financing also 40% equity to 60%. If the scenario like this, the WACC most suitable, more appropriate to make the investment. That is suggestion number 1. Now we will look at suggestion number 2. project specific cost of capital rate. Project specific. Make an entity specific cost of capital rate. You are going to use entity specific cost of capital rate to the project. But project specific cost of capital rate will be more reliable measure than entity specific cost of capital rate, because the risk profile, risk of the business and the financial risk more or less similar to the proposed project. Okay, I will take suggestion number 2. Suggestion number 2. What is suggestion number 2? Project specific cost of capital. Project specific cost of capital rate. According to suggestion 2, project specific capital cost of capital rate is more relevant when making a decision. This will be more relevant. Will be more relevant to make a decision. This will address the risk associated with the specific project. That means this is a true. This will be a better reflection. Business and financial risk associated. Better reflection. Okay, as explained in the briefing, it is better to use ungeared beta or equity beta to evaluate the performance in order to assess the financial risk. It has done. Therefore, this solution only valid if both companies are operating in the same industry. Remember, you are going to compare with competitors who are doing the similar kind of project. This also you have mentioned this opinion. The similar kind of project is specific cost of capital rate we have taken from some game hunt from the game hunt PLC. This will be more suitable when the both companies are operating in same industry. This will be more suitable if both companies are operating in same industry. If they are operating the same industry, this will be more appropriate. Now you have evaluated present cost of capital rate, suggestion number 1 and suggestion number 2. That's the first analysis. Then whenever recommendation section එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් මෙතනම recommendation එක ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. You can use your own report format. While analyzing this option, you can write down a recommendation in a section එකක් විදිහට ලියන්නත් පුළුවන් මෙතනම ලියන්නත් පුළුවන් recommendation section එකක් විදිහට. මෙතනම recommendation එක ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. එහෙම ලිව්වා කියලා ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. Now I have done the discussion. Recommendation I will follow. Okay, that is option 1. Appropriateness of discount rate. When analysis that means one point has been done. The appropriateness of the discount rate used by the finance team for the new investment proposal. I have discussed the appropriateness of the given three instances: current discount rate, suggestion 1, weighted average cost of capital, and project specific cost of capital. Three options I have discussed. Next one we will look at implication of the proposed takeover bid. අපිට takeover bid එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මොකෙන්ද? Setmeyer PLC. Okay. දැන් අපි බලමු takeover bid එක කොයි වගේ work වෙනවද කියලා. 3.1 we have done. 3.2 still we have discussion and analysis section. 3.2 takeover bid. Takeover bid. If you look at the takeover bid, current arrangement current arrangement, you need to issue one Glen share for two Setmeyer PLC shares. What Setmeyer PLC shares දෙකක් ගන්නකොට ඔයා දෙන්න ඕනේ in return how many shares? You have to give one Glen PLC shares. හරිද? suggested solution එකේදී අපි answer එක ගන්න එපා. ඒක වැරදි. හරි. අපි මෙතන මම කියනවා as per the detail computation perform in, I will put annex 1 following observations were made. Following observations were made. Then මෙතන අපිට පුළුවන් මේකේ validity now you have to do the annex number 1. what කැමති විදිහට annex 1 2 annex A B C D ඔම ගන්න පුළුවන්. Now we will look at the given proposal is suitable in financial terms first. First we will look at the financial terms. Now I will work on the annex number 1. මෙතනදී මේ මම annex වල කරන්න. ඊට මොකද තමයි මෙතන දාන්න. Annex. Okay, current market prices given both companies current market prices දීලා තියෙන බලන්න. Glen PLC 49.3 49 and 30 cents. Setmeyer 19.7 or 19 rupees and 70 cents per share. එතකොට ratio එක කොහොමද? Glen 1 share to Setmeyer's 2 shares. Then the market price is in the Glen 1 share, the market price is 49.3. Setmeyer's shares දෙකක value එක කීයද? Current market price එක 19.70 into 2. While the market price is 49.3. මෙතන එනවා 39. මේ තමයි proposed arrangement එක. මේක Glen ට වාසිද අවාසිද? By considering current market price level, this arrangement is not worthwhile to Glen PLC. In order to dispose part of their investment, they will expect a premium, but even they are asking for a discount. This arrangement is not financially feasible. Not financially feasible. One Glen chart, two set maybe this won't be happen. What would be more preferable? If you look at about their current earning, you can use dividend growth model to value their shares. Okay. Their earning yield also you can calculate. By considering those facts, you can calculate what should be their cost of equity also different and their future growth also different. Those facts should be considered by make decision. By considering current market share, this won't be suitable. If you look at the net asset value per share also, Glen PLC 50, Seth Meyers 12. Net asset value per share. If you look at this is based on market price. Okay? This valuation based on market price. Market price based valuation. Second one, Glen Seth Meyers 2. Net asset basis 50. Net asset in Seth Meyers 12 rupees per share. Net asset per share 12. 12 into 24. Now net asset එක 50ක් තියෙනවා. දැන් market price එකේ growth පොඩ්ඩක් under value වෙලා තියෙන්නේ market එක. ඒතර මෙතන මොකද? Net asset basis valuation. Net asset basis. Net asset basis valuation. Again, this is not suitable. If you value an observation made, the proposed share sale arrangement is not financially beneficial to Glen PLC. Based on current market price, Glen PLC might expect a premium on the price share they are disposing. Therefore, Glen PLC might consider one Glen share for 3 Seth Meyers shares as a consideration. This should be communicated to the shareholders. Then shareholders might approve it. And you have looked at acquisition will help in different aspects. It might be positive synergies to get additional business and all. You have to evaluate that as well. Okay, first one I will do. In the annexure, what you can say, the given share transaction may not be beneficial to both companies. Okay. Okay, we can, by considering this arrangement, you can write it down. Annexure ke make දාන්න. Annexure following observations were made. A observation එකේ ඔයාලට කියන්න පුළුවන්. Observation එකේ ඔයාලට කියන්න පුළුවන්. First observation. The proposed share sale arrangement, share sale transfer is not financially beneficial to Glen PLC. Glen PLC the financial benefit net. In order to acquire 2 shares of which one is company name? Set PLC. Set PLC. Which value that? Value at 39 fixed 40. We claim as to transfer share worth of 49 percent. 49. 49. This transaction might happen. This transaction would be highly probable. Highly probable if the ratio changes to the ratio, if the ratio changes to 1 claim share to 3 definitions. 3 set shares. What again? අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මෙතන මේ company එක අපි කිව්වොත් Glen PLC they are currently earning profits. If the company is currently earning profit, then when they are giving a higher dividend rate, they are yielding a higher earning per share. When they are going to dispose, okay, their shares to external party, then they will expect a premium. Then if they charge a premium, then the 2 shares per 1 Glen share may not be financially beneficial. They will expect at least 3 shares for each Glen share they are sharing. But remember, this should be put into the board or this should be put into the shareholders and then you have to decide it. So do we need to show dividend-based valuation model? Yes, if you can do, but the dividend-based valuation has a different value. Market and net asset valuation of shares. මෙතන දීලා තියෙන figures අනුව ඔයාලට මේ market price එකේ ඉන්න market price එක පොඩ්ඩක් under value වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. You can use dividend growth model as well. How to use dividend growth model? The information is sufficient. I will do the dividend growth model as well. If you look at above, annex වල මම මේක දාන්න. මේක දැම්ම කමක් නැහැ. මෙතන තියෙනවා මම මේ Glen PLC එකේ share measure කරන්නේ Glen PLC. Glen. දැන් බලන්න dividend growth model එකේදී current market price per share 49 rupees and 30 cents. 49 rupees and 30 cents. What dividend growth මුද්දර තමයි ඉන්නේ. දැන් මේක ගත්ත අපි කොහොමද මේක බලන්නේ? P0 price equal D0 into 1 plus G divided by cost of equity minus growth rate. T0 49 rupees and 30 cents. D0 present dividend current dividend per share 4 rupees. 1 plus growth rate 4%. 0.0 divided by cost of equity you don't know minus t.0. දැන් මේක හොයාගන්න ඕන නම් cost of equity උත්තර කරලා ගත්තහම මේක ඉන්නේ මේ විදිහට. K equal cost of equity 4 into 1 plus 1.04, that means 4.16 divided by 49 rupees and 30 cents plus cost of equity what APR. What would be the cost of equity? Cost of equity will be approximately 4.16 divided by 49.3, 8.4, 12.4. Cost of equity 12.4%. 12.4%. කොහොමද මේ උත්තරේ මේක ක්ලීන් වල cost of capital but set Mayer's current cost of capital is 13% කියලා කියනවා. දැන් බලුවත් මේකේ set Mayer's PLC 500 million shares තියෙනවා. earning per share 220. set Mayer's කිත් හදලා බලන්න කියන්නේ කිව්වේ. एक वर्क रेट के दाबो 19.7 ना निधि नहीं अपना सेट अपना P0 है वो P0 equal P0 into 1 plus G KE minus G dividend के कितने रुपया देखा है 1.1 रुपया 80 cents 1 plus G 1.02. Cost of equity is at 13%, 0.13 minus point constant dividend growth का 8.0. P0 के देखिए make it 16.7 level approximately 16.7 then බලන්න මේකම හරියට 16.7 හැබැයි මාකට් එකේ ඕවර් ප්‍රයිස් වෙලා යන්නේ 19.7 තමයි තියෙන්නේ හරි 16.7 in the dividend based on dividend based valuation 16.7 එහෙනම් මෙයාගේ තියෙන 49.3 අඩුම තරමේ 49.3 එන්නේ මෙයාගේ කොච්චරක් ඕනද shares බලන්න 49.3 බෙදලා එක share එකක් කරන 49.3 divided by 16.7 at least 2.95 shares that means at least you need to share 3 shares or 1 share of claim dividend based valuation එකේ අපි කියන උත්තරේමයි එන්නේ හරිද if you look at the current situation 3 shares of set need to be shared with 1 share of claim but need to be get the shareholders approval. Why? We haven't charged a premium on the share price because currently we are earning profits. This is the valuation. This is dividend based valuation model. Currently the share price of set PLC overpriced. Okay. Okay. Clear? Shall we? Okay, we'll write it down and takeover bid. The takeover bid should be amended we need to get the approval from shareholders at least. Okay. දීලා තියෙන answer එක බලන්න එපා, answer එක වැරදි, suggested solution එක. You also need to mention that, okay, you also need to mention that this is the financial aspect. Other aspects might be considered. Okay, other aspects also need to be considered with the synergies. The synergy effect, the positive synergy effect, the positive synergy effect to be considered. The positive synergy effect to be considered prior to making a decision. Okay, that is the second section. Answer for second section, that is we have discussed about implication of proposed takeover bid. We will make the recommendation point by point. Okay, next one we are going to discuss relevance of offering own branded products. Okay, shall we take a quick break and come back? We'll take a quick break. The section 3.3, we are going to discuss about own branded product. Section 3.3, relevance of own branded products. Relevance of own branded products. Section 3.3. අපි දර මේ ටික මෙහෙම ඩිස්කස් කරලා මේ පොයින්ට්ස් තියෙනවා පහක්. හයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ හය ඩිස්කස් කරලා ඉවරලා ඊට පස්සේ recommendation දාන්න තියෙනවා. Okay, shall we take a quick break and come back? We'll take, now it is 10:45. Okay, 10:45. Shall we come back around 11 o'clock? We'll come back around 11 o'clock. Thereafter, we'll discuss the balance part and recommendations and balance part. We will discuss. Have a take quick break of 15 minutes and come back. Any questions you can raise me even during the interval. You can raise me any question you have. If you have any question, you can put me into the WhatsApp group. I will reply. Any question you can let me know. Okay, hi everyone. Shall we start? Okay. Even next week onwards, even you can physically attend the class. It's also okay. There's no barriers to attend the class physically. You can come to the physical class as well. Okay. Okay, now we are in relevance of own brand products. Can you remember the summary what I have done? Now you had different product range. What are they? If you look at the pre-seed, in the pre-seed analysis, you can see different kind of product range, own branded products. Okay. You had now this is not the answer. You had water bottles, jams, spices, and other products. Then බලන්න, as I said, water and jams, and also other except spices. Their quantity has fallen. Okay, quantity has fallen. Margin also fallen. Jams only quantity has went up, but margin has fallen. Quantity went up, margin went down. What might be the reason? Own branded product. Relevance of own branded product. Assume you have water bottles. Similar nature, similar characteristics, similar. अभी water bottles का निम्न bond नहीं. එතකොට අපේ brand එක ගහුවා කියලා අපි premium එකක් අපිට charge කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? We can't. Therefore, you have to look at how other similar kind of products being priced at. කොහොමද price කරලා තියෙන්නේ? Assume you have priced 1 liter at 100 rupees. But there's a competitive other brand products. They will offer 1 liter at 60 rupees. Then definitely, if particular customers are price sensitive, they will look at same type of product which has a similar characteristic, which has a similar benefit, and they differentiate based on the price. Then price sensitive customers will reject the purchase. Then you have to identify the relevance of own branded product and their pricing should be considered. Out of that, spices has a good marker. Your margin has went up. That means there might be some unique characteristic there in order to brand your spice products. Other than that, water, gems, and other products, there might be competitive product which has a similar characteristics, similar services, which offered at a lower price. Therefore, you have to evaluate your own branded product and decide what is the pricing strategy, how you are going to differentiate your product with compared to other products. Now, one of the collective samahara allowed the product water bottles. All water bottle. It's not a plastic can. Okay. The material is expensive, but they have charged a premium price. That's how they have differentiated the product. If your product is similar to the or identical to the other competitive product, you can't charge a premium. Those might be the reason for dropping your sales volume and margin both. Then you have to look at whether you are getting similar economies of scale, What is the reason for dropping margin? And you have to set the competitor's price when you are going to determine relevance of own branded products. Okay, we'll write it down. You have to highlight these points. Customers may have option to purchase. Customers may have options to purchase similar products at a lower price. Lower price. Then what you need to do, need to revisit your prices. Revisit the current prices. Current prices. Need to revisit the current prices and need to revisit the current prices and need to revisit the current prices and you have to relook at. Okay. Need to revisit the current prices, and decide how to differentiate. Decide how to differentiate. How to differentiate it. Oh, now you can look at example. You have to look at the options. See the options for outsource production. At a lower cost. With similar quality. Then you can offer the product range. At lower price. Or otherwise you have to differentiate the product. Therefore, by looking at own branded product, you might lose the market due to the current pricing, or customers might compare with other products, other competitive products with your products. ඒකයි වෙන්න පුළුවන් වගේ මාකට් එකේදී අපි අර water, jams and other product might have declined with the quantity and margin has dropped. Okay. Even in jams, quantity has gone up, margin has declined. That means it is a price sensitive. Customers will, you can use product bundling. In the strategy, I will make the recommendation in order to increase the sales. Okay, jams, their quantity went up due to but the margin has dropped. That means you have to look at the elasticity of their demand and price sensitivity of the demand. Consider prior to decide the price. That is about own branded products. 3.3 relevance of own branded product you have to mention. You have to look at about the customer profile. And also you have only consider about the own branded product. You have to think about how to sell, how to get the margin from other branded product as well. It has not counted here. Therefore, you have to see that you based on your bargaining power, you can get a higher margin on selling of other branded product. You have to consider an alternative option, which has not considered here as an alternative option of selling other branded product at a higher margin. You can include that as here. Okay, that is relevance of own branded product. We will move to next. analysis. Governance and ethical issues. Governance and ethical issues. Governance and ethical issues. While reading the thesis, then බලන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල් කලින්ම තියෙනවනේ. දැන් ඔක අමුතුනේ ලියන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. These governance and ethical issues were there. What are they? 3.4, section 3.4. Governance and ethical issues. What the number one in Gampaha region, the account officer has not reported the one of incident. Financial officer has not recorded the incident in happened or accident happened for an employee. It has not been reported. The entitlement has not been given. Account officer has not recorded, has not reported the employee accident and not dispersed the funds for employees entitlement. Employees entitlement. One of kind of issues you can identify. Governance issues, it has been, that means financial officials should not be misled. That means knowingly it has been misleading. The account officer knowingly misleading with the influence of regional managing company. The second governance and ethical issue. What is the other one? Governance and ethical, there's an ethical issue. The relative of finance director, a relative of finance director has been awarded a contract for supplying also it mentioned that these products are not up to the standard. These products are not up to the standard. Not up to the standard. Those are the governance and ethical issues you can highlight. The supply contract should be awarded suppliers who are worthy to having such contract. Okay. Therefore, it need to be. This is a kind of related party arrangement. It's a kind of related party arrangement. Influence from related party. For key management personnel. Therefore, those are the governance and ethical issues. Next one, this is 3.4 governance and ethical issues. Fifth one, then making water marks happen automatically. Fifth one, direct implementation of IT system. 3.5. Direct implementation of IT system. Now, direct implementation approach means you will stop the current production run or current operating system and you will introduce new system. Once the new system being implemented, from that date onwards, all system will be discontinued. That is the direct implementation. Therefore, we have to look at what are the alternatives available for implementation of an IT system. It might be parallel implementation. You can highlight there are alternatives to implement a new IT system. You can list down parallel implementation. That means you will run both current system and old system, both will run until the new system properly being implemented. You will run the existing system, both systems run together. There are some pros and cons of parallel implementation, but this is worthy to implement parallelly. By parallel implementation will eliminate the risk of failure of the new system. If the new system fails, still you can run from the old system parallel run. To prior to implement, you can do a test implementation. Okay, test implementation means you will in a test database you will implement it and see whether it will implement. That we call pilot implementation. Pilot implementation. First, you implement in a database and see whether it will work. If it is work, you can directly go to the direct implementation thereafter. Next one is the direct implementation. Direct implementation. You will stop the current system and you directly go and implement. There might be advantages. Advantages mean you need not to input information in the parallel. You have to maintain two systems. But direct implementation, you will stop old system and data will transfer to the new system, and then you can implement. Other one, phase implementation. As an example, you can implement ordering module, online or retailing module. You can implement billing module separately. Likewise, parallelly, phase implementation, phase by phase you will implement. Then it will be another good method to implement your IT system. You have to mention that direct implementation may not be suitable by considering if the system gets stuck or a new system have some bugs or errors, then you will lose all the data. Your operation will be disrupted. Okay. Out of that, you can mention parallel run will be more suitable. Okay. Parallel run will be more suitable to implement this new IT system with compared to other options available. It will be more easy and it will be more beneficial to the company. Okay, direct implementation of IT system, you have to mention the pros and cons of direct implementation and parallel implementation. You can say parallel implementation is more suitable. Okay, final one. The strategies to be adapted by Glenn PLC with a view to create a value in a sustainable manner. Okay, sustainable manner mean you have to increase the value of your value chain. In a service industry, you are in a supermarket, how you are going to maximize your value chain activities? You have to look at your value chain and you have to look at about your value network. Okay, based on that, what kind of strategies you can apply? Okay, in the sustainable growth, what are the approaches you can use? One approach, while analyzing strategies to implement, you can perform SWOT analysis and pest analysis, and you can identify opportunities and threats. Okay, then based on that, you can suggest some strategies. Yeah, I will say like this. This is somewhat different. 3.6. Sustainable strategies. Sustainable strategies. Okay, then what we can do? While analyzing external and internal environment of PLC, we have identified strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats. It has been described in, you can provide a list because okay. You can mention while analyzing internal and external environment. We have identified the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats. Now, our method is down known as SWOT analysis. You can mention the detail SWOT analysis given in Annex 2 of this report. Annex 2 of this report. While analyzing environment, I have identified strengths, weakness, and opportunities and threats. Based on that, I have given the list based on the SWOT analysis. I will suggest these strategies. Number one, by using your strength and weaknesses, you have to suggest what are the strategies. One strategy you can suggest, as I mentioned, companies earning profits is a strength. Companies financially capable is if the company is generating more profitable profits and revenues, and since company has a majority of market share, 45% of the market share, how they can get a sustainable value to the business. Value chain activity should be optimized. Therefore, one strategy. Can you remember? Own branded, some of the own branded products will be produced by Dawson PLC. I ask you to highlight it. You can use one strategy, backward integration to backward, either forward also you can use. Distribution of the product. Backward integration to improve value chain activities improve value chain activities. Value chain activities. Company can acquire Dawson PLC. Company might consider to acquire or acquire Dawson PLC. Dawson PLC. ඒ මොනවා මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙයාගේ මාර්ජින් එක මෙයා Dawson PLC, Glen PLC පුරනකොට මාර්ජින් එකක් තියාගන්න ඕනේ. That margin can be eliminated. The product can be offered at a lower price. Products can be offered at a lower price. At a lower price. Product can be offered at a lower price. That is a one of the strategy because company is financially strength and company has a good brand name. Number two, what is the another strategy? Company doesn't have a separate R&D department. If company have a separate R&D department, they can come up with new product or services. Okay, you can suggest establish a separate R&D division. This will help you new product innovation. Identify market condition. Identify market condition. Identify market condition. Market condition. Identify potential market. Identify potential market. On the other hand, now Milltown Super convenience stores and Milltown Center, but they have Milltown centers mainly located on three locations: Gampaha, Colombo, and Kandy. You have to look at other alternative marketplaces as well. You can expand other strategy, expand the branch network of new outlets, establishment of new outlets because you have the capacity, you have the backward integration, you have a supply, you have a distribution channel, and you can look at to increase the presence or increase some outlets, increase number of outlets. Third, increase number of outlets. Increase number of outlets. The outlet should be outlets can be dispersed in suburbs areas. Because you can target middle level income people. More convenient stores to cater middle level income earners. The potential market. Offer a product at a lower price. Offer target middle and low income. Target middle and lower income level. by offering low attractive prices, low prices. You can increase the number of outlets and you can do these strategies in order to get a sustainable advantage. Okay, there is strategies to be adapted by the create a sustainable value. Okay. Finally, analysis and discussion we have done. All the 6 areas we have addressed. Now you need to do the recommendation. The recommendation okay. Recommendation. Section 4. Recommendations. Section 4. Recommendation. Recommendation. Now you have identified different scenarios. Each scenarios you have analyzed the situation. Now you have to give the recommendation. Separately. Now we are going to write down the recommendation separately. Under that 4.1, appropriateness of discount rate. Of discount factor. Recommend you should recommend either out of 3. Then out of 3, which is the recommended one? You should recommend which one? Recommend apply of project specific cost of capital rate. It is recommended to apply project specific cost of capital rate of 15%. You have to justify why I asked to use project specific cost of capital rate. This will reflect the risk associated with the project. Associated with the project. Risk associated with the project. Therefore, it is while considering all of the scenario, it is better to use therefore 15% cost of capital rate you have to consider. On the other hand, while recommendation, it is recommended to consider the qualitative factors of the project. Not only financial factor, you have to look at about the qualitative factor as well, because this involves significant capital infusion for the project. Better to identify most critical factor of the project. Sometimes initial investment might be the most critical factor. Inflows might be the most critical factor. How to determine the most critical factor? You have to perform the sensitivity analysis. The sensitivity analysis will help you. The sensitivity analysis will help to identify most critical factor. Most critical factor. Sensitivity analysis will help to identify most critical factor. Maybe even I think, because you have 3 hours, you can't do miracles. But you have made a decision based on your judgment, and you have justified it. Appropriateness of discount factor, you say project specific cost of capital rate of 15% should be used. That is 4.1 recommendation. Then 4.2, we look at the second one. We have looked at the proposal takeover bid. Proposal takeover bid. I will write this one. Next one is proposed takeover bid. Now, when you are going to acquire the company, not only financial, other qualitative factors also to be considered. What are the qualitative factors? There are cultural changes. Different culture mismatches will be there. Therefore, how you are going to adapt for that? Okay, better to when you are going to acquire a company, not only financial, other qualitative factors also to be considered. Company acquired an airport. Therefore, better to have proper due diligence on before acquisition. And anyway, this need to be communicated to the shareholders prior to make any decision. Okay. 4.2. Take over bid. Take over bid. The given proposal should be declined. Should be declined. It will not beneficial to the shareholders of Glen PLC. It will more attractive if ratio changes to 1 claim for 3 segments. Three sections. Anyway, this need to be communicated to shareholders of Glen PLC. Glen PLC. Why? Because again, following qualitative factors also to be considered. Following qualitative factors also to be considered. What are the qualitative factors? Cultural differences. Working structure. Etc. Those kind of things you have to consider, and you have to recommend before make any acquisition decision. Before make any acquisition decision, it need to do a proper due diligence. It need to do a proper due diligence on Seth Meyers PLC. Okay, that is implication of proposed take profit. I made the recommendation. Third recommendation, 4.3, relevance of own branded products. Third one, relevance of own branded products. Relevance of own brand products. Now you have to highlight, you have to recommend, companies should not rely on the own brand product. Own branded product is the well rely on that. They have to focus on how to increase the margin of other branded product as well. They can get a margin. Number two, when they are allocating shelf space, now higher margin, higher volume will be done by the spices. Therefore, they have to allocate significant space or more space to spices related products because they can have a higher margin and higher profitability. Therefore, you can need to should not only focus on should over rely on own branded products. Should not rely on own branded products. Decide how to gain more margin. Gain more margin from other branded products. Other branded products. Because you have a relationship with them or with the conglomerate. Third, allocate more space to, more shelf space to spices, since space, volume and margin are increasing. Margins are increasing. That is a recommendation for own branded products. That's simple. That's all. For own relevance of own branded product. Next one is governance and ethical issues. Governance and ethical issues. Now, can you remember there was a governance issue regarding reporting of wrong figures by financial officials with the influence of regional manager. Therefore, what can you do? Due diligence से करना होने Glen PLC. Glen PLC has to perform the due diligence because බලන්න shares දෙකක් දෙනවා Glen PLC එක share එකක් දෙනකොට එක share issue කරනකොට අර පැත්තේ shares දෙකක් පාවට හම්බ වෙනවා. අපි ඒකට කැමති නැහැ අඩුම තරමේ shares තුනක් අපිට ඕන. එතකොට automatically අපි එකක් දෙනකොට එහෙන් shares තුනක් එනවා. බලන්න මෙතන තුනට එක ratio එක කියොත් we are getting the controllability of other entity. But the amount of disposal they have not given. They have 500 million shares. If we assume if we sell 150 million shares out of 350, we will get 450 million shares from their end. Okay. Then automatically the due diligence should be performed in the point of Glen PLC, not Seth PLC. Governance and ethical issues 4.4. Governance and ethical. The financial figures reported might be inaccurate because due to the pressure from declining margin of the particular segment. Then you have to look at, you have to check the accuracy of financial reporting to be established. Accuracy of financial reporting to be established. Regular internal audits will streamline the operation. The issues will be highlighted to the management. Okay. Then what can you do? Now you have purchase beverages from relative of finance director. Therefore, you have to establish proper quotation or bidding procedure for selection of supplier. Proper quotation for supplier selection policy. Competitive bid evaluation to be done by an independent parties, an independent committee. Independent committee you have to pick, and on the other hand, maintain the board balance. Maintain the board balance. Maintain the board balance. Because in one instance, if you look at the board composition, there was an independent director closely. It's a relative of one of the directors. Look at Chairman Roger Glenn, Human Resource Director Dino Glenn, Non-Executive Director Dominic Glenn. But we non-executive, but there's a problem with independence. You have to maintain the balance between independent director and all. Okay. Maintain board balance. That means you have to evaluate the independence of non-executive directors. Independence of non-executive directors. Because few members are family member or relative of the claim. Okay, that is about governance. Then, what else they asked about? Direct implementation of IT. .5. 4.5. Direct implementation of information IT system. Direct implementation. And direct implementation is my highlight. It is better to run parallel implementation. Parallel implementation is recommended. Parallel implementation is recommended. Why I am saying that? If system fails, then there's no problem. There's no problem because you have the old system. If new system fails, the old system will continue the operation. Direct implementation involves iris. The sudden change, the immediate change, the sudden change might not be more familiar. Current operations. Then what will happen? This will difficult to implement. For current sudden changes might not be more familiar with the current operations. That means then automatically it will disrupt. Okay, finally, 4.5 direct implementation. Either you can recommend without direct implementation, entity can see other options like pilot implementation, phase implementation based on cost and benefit analysis. Also, you can recommend look at other options, alternative options for implementation. Okay, this is fifth one, final one, 4.6. Maybe summary කරගෙන යන්න බැහැ. තව වඩම පැය 9 තියෙන්නේ. මේකේ ලොකු miracles කරන්න බෑ. දැන් ඔයාගාව details තියෙනවා. බස් SWOT analysis එක කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ තියෙන details ටික අරගෙන ඔයා උත්තර ලියන්න ඕනේ. In some instances, they directly ask to write down you have to perform the SWOT analysis. In that case, you have to include SWOT analysis in the body of the report. Okay, 4.5, 4.6. Strategies to play. Backward integration. Backward integration. You can use the acquisition of supply. Acquisition of supplies. Supplies. You can look at farmers and outsourced producers. Outsourced producers. Then this will eliminate intermediaries. Then financial capability exists. Financial capability. Financial capability. Based on that, it is better to integrate your suppliers. Then you can reduce the lead time. Reduce lead time. Reduce lead time. Preserve the quality. Easy access. Easy access to supply. Easy access to supply. And higher bargaining power. Those are the good point for backward integration. Therefore, it is recommended to go to the backward integration. Okay. Then backward integration. Then other recommendation. I don't know if I have holding or not. R&D, establishment of R&D division and new innovations. Second one, B, new innovations. Innovations through R&D. New innovations to R&D. You can recommend establish separate R&D department. R&D department. Assign responsibilities. Assign responsibilities for the individual. The individuals who are experts in the field. Experts in the field. At the present, the person director who look at the IT and marketing is also looking at the R&D as well. Therefore, it is better to set a separate division and take recruit of new talented people who are very expert in the particular field. Encourage new innovations. Encourage innovations. Innovations. Continuous training. Continuous training to employee. Training to employee. This is new innovation through R&D. You can recommend. Finally, I can remember, I have suggested expand the outlet network. Expand the outlets. You can recommend introduce meal town center, hypermarket centers to other big cities, to other major cities. You can give some example. Currently, Gampaha, Kalanko, and Kandy. Those are the three districts. You can give some example. You can go to Kurnagal. You can go to Palutar. Even you can go to Pampang. Town super centers you can establish in Kurnagal, Palutar, Hampang. Those districts you can start new mill town centers. And again, it's convenience stores should be targeted. Be middle and lower level levels. Likewise, you can write it down. What are the possible strategies for Glen PLC? Okay, finally, you have to write down the conclusion. Now, all the answers we have written down. Now, conclusion and executive summary to be written down. Conclusion, conclusion make it what we have reached at the end. Okay, in the conclusion, you can include company should consider not only financial information, non-financial information also to be considered prior to making a decision. When evaluating new project, company should consider about both financial and non-financial risk. Hence, it should be considered project-specific discount rate. Number two, you can say when they are going to make a new investment in, there's a proposal to evaluate the takeover bid. It needs to consider the qualitative and quantitative information prior to make such decision with the approval of shareholders. Thirdly, you can say company should not only rely on own branded product, company should consider other non-branded product, other brand products, and company should allocate more space to the spices who has a higher profitability and growing sales demand. Finally, you have mentioned that companies, all strategies mentioned in above should be carefully analyzed and look at the qualitative and quantitative detailed screening prior to implement those strategies suggested in above section. Yellow conclusion conclude karala. The most important thing, next one is the executive summary. Okay, after the strategies, recommendation, conclusion, you have write down like that. Conclusion in the fifth section conclusion. Conclusion. You have to mention, you have to consider when making a decision, you have to consider about business and financial risk together. Business and financial risk of new investment to be considered. Project specific cost of capital being recommended. Then you can mention that take forward should be consider after both qualitative and quantitative aspect. In financial terms, not acceptable. Conclusion. Finally, claim should also consider other brands. Finally, other brands product. Should allocate more space to spices. Finally, all the strategies given above should be carefully evaluated. I think in the conclusion, the point form you can write it down. What are the key decisions we have made? Finally, you are going to write down the executive summary. Executive summary. I mean, on the Malaka Mateo report take areas missing conclusion and recommendation. If you have included conclusion and recommendation both, then it will be more accurate. You can get the full marks. Okay. Finally, we write down the executive summary found. Therefore, executive summary we have to write it down at the end of the report. Now, executive summary executive summary. In the executive summary, you have to mention, highlight what are the key decisions. Entire report should be summarized. Key decisions you have made, you have to mention number one. You not number one, paragraph. The purpose of this report is to identify, make the recommendation, evaluate, and make the recommendations on the issues identified related to claim PLC. The proposed expanded cost of capital rate used by claim PLC 17% is not suitable. Therefore, it is recommended to use 15% project specific cost of capital rate for project appraisal. Appropriateness of discount factor. You can say the discount factor used by the at the present discount rate of 17% is not suitable. Hence, it was recommended to use project specific cost of capital rate of 15% for the project appraisal. This will help you increase the present NPV value with compared to 17%. Okay, first paragraph we have written down the appropriateness of discount rate. Discount factor. Second paragraph, takeover bid. The given takeover bid of 1 to 2 shares is not financially feasible, not financially acceptable. The detailed evaluation given in section 3.2. Detailed evaluation given in 3.2. This proposal is viable if the ratio has changed to 1 to 3. Make a feasible way. Take over. takeover bid. In takeover bid, current proposal should not be accepted unactively. The proposal is probably viable if the rate has changed to 1 claim share for 3 set shares. Takeover bid we have done. Third one, relevance of own branded product. Relevance of own branded product, you have mentioned, the spices should be given more spaces, more space. Company should not only rely on own branded product, company should look at other branded product as well. Company should not solely depend on own branded products. Therefore, it is recommended to evaluate price sensitivity of own branded product with the competitive products available. That is own branded products. For governance issue. Governance issues. Regular internal audits and proper bidding procedure or supply registration procedure was recommended to eliminate inefficiencies in purchases. You can write it down. That's enough. Governance issues. Fifth, strategies. Direct implementation of IP. Topic here direct implementation. You can mention it was recommended to adopt parallel running instead of direct implementation. Company may consider pilot running phase implementation as an alternative for system implementation. You have to mention that. Finally, strategies. You can mention backward integration, new product development, establishment of separate R&D division, and establishment of new outlets are the proposed new strategies while considering the present situation of Glen PLC. The detailed environmental analysis. Should be considered prior to implementing any of these strategies. That's done. When you written down the executive summary, point form එක ඉවත් කමක් නැහැ executive summary එක පොඩි පැරාවල් විදියට what the entire report content should be summarized in executive summary. දැන් බලන්න take home bid එක මොකද්ද initially appropriate enough for discounted cash flow, discount factor. You can say project specific cost of capital rate should be used. Current cost of capital rate is inaccurate. That's done. Then you have take over bid should not be accepted. You have convey the decision. Decision should be considered. Take over bid will be considered if we receive minimum 3 shares when we transfer 3 shares for each 1 share we are transferring. You can, that the entire section covered. Own branded product, it says allocate more space to spices, and company should not rely on own branded product. We have to look at the other branded product as well. Governance issues, internally suggested. Then we have suggested proper quotation and bidding procedure and supply registration procedure. Covered. Parallel implementation suggested as an alternative for direct implementation. Okay. Finally, you have mentioned strategies of backward integration, new product innovation, establishment of R&D, all should be considered with the environmental analysis. Okay, that's the end of 2018 June case study discussion. Only one student has attempted it and sent me the answer. I have gone through. The weakness I have identified. There was no proper recommendation and executive summary. Other than that, his writing was okay. Then ඔයා මේවා ලියන්න ඕනේ. දැන් ඔයා ලියන්නෙත් නැහැ, physically appear වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. Next week also you can come physical class. Then we can discuss more and more. By that time, high probability that your pre-scene will be released. Pre-scene එක release කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, we will wind up the class for today. Any questions, please? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, any questions you can, if you have any question, you can raise. Okay, you can send me the WhatsApp messages, I will reply. And we will keep posting on WhatsApp group, whatever the information required. This session will be recorded, session will be uploaded today. You can get it. And we will communicate of the future arrangement. Myself and Himusa plan. Once the pre-scene release, first 2 weeks we will analyze, second 2 weeks we will do pilot mock exam papers, and then you will get familiarized with the pre-scene analysis. Okay, hopefully we will meet on next week. There's no restrictions to attend the physical classes. මොකද කොලේ යන්න පුළුවන් නම් රෙදි ගන්න යන්න පුළුවන් නම් දැන් මෙතන ඉන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Enough space there. You can come and join the class physically next week onwards if you prefer. Okay, till that, next week the arrangement will be informed what we are going to do. We will discuss another separate paper of the paper we will share with you all, then you can get an idea. The most important thing, you have to practice with the past papers. ඒක ලියන්න නැතුව අමාරුයි. ඔයා එකපාරක් හරි දෙපාරක් හරි පේපර් එක ලියවට පස්සේ වර තේරෙන කොහොමද පේපර් එක ඇටෙම්ප් කරන්න ඕනේ විදිය. ඒක ගොඩක් වෙලාට හෙල්ප් වෙනවා එක්සෑම් එක පාස් වෙන්න. හරි, ඔයාලට ඉෂුස් තියෙනවද? ප්‍රශ්න, any questions prior to leave? No questions at all. Okay, then we will meet on next week same time 8:30. When the pre-scene being released, we will some situation you have to attend workshops. Based on the workshop arrangement, we have to schedule the class. Again, I institute එකේ workshop conduct කරනවා, ඒවට වලට යන්න වෙනවා. Okay, Sakila, okay, thank you sir. Please provide the contact details for technical difficulties. Okay, I will provide the contact details of IAS. I will share the information in WhatsApp group. Okay, then we will meet on next week, and probably we will communicate through WhatsApp. WhatsApp එකේ මම communicate කරන්න මොනවද ඊළඟ ස්පීක් කරන්නේ, අපි මොනවද discuss කරන්නේ කියලා. Till that, stay safe and thank you all. We'll meet on next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.